All right. Let's see here. Yeah. All right. So, good morning, everyone. I hope that you guys had an awesome week. Thanks for being willing to kind of change things up this week. We will probably be doing our calls on Thursday mornings just going forward because we've both had a little bit of changes in our schedules. So just know that in advance that these calls will be happening on Thursdays going forward. Obviously, I have Emma here with me today, so just bear with me if she's grabbing the computer. Hopefully, she's not too distracting for you guys. But I am excited about today's call because I don't know how many of you listened to the wake up call last Monday morning. So not this past Monday, but the Monday before. But it was awesome. And I really was inspired by her conversation and by some of the topic in and of itself. Because when I really took a look at my business, what she's doing and what she's talking about with finding your big idea is something that, I think that we've talked about on this team, but maybe we've never really pinpointed it as your big idea. And I think it's something that I have done in my business that has helped me just get really focused and figure out what works for me in the business. But again, I don't think it's necessarily something where we've identified it as that big idea. And so I wanted to jump on here today and talk about finding your big idea. So if you didn't listen to that call, no worries. Honestly, a lot of what I'm going to talk about today comes from that call. So if you listen to it, it might be a little repetitive, but let me say this. I've listened to the call like 4 times at this point, and I've gotten something new out of it every single time. And I think that finding your big idea and talking about finding your big idea is something that we kind of continually need to be reminded of to make sure that we're staying focused, that we're staying true to us, that we're not becoming Beachbody robots, but that we are finding, what makes us different. And so I love that she describes Beachbody as a university. And in so many ways it is. When you go to college, it's a big university, right? And there's room for everybody to be successful. But everyone may find success in a different way, right? Because they've got their own tribe and their own people. And, they may leave from there and, find an amazing job. But everyone's leaving with different degrees, but still all from the same university, right? And so when you think about Beachbody, it's kind of like that, right? Like we're all coaches, but we're all different and we all have different things that we bring to the table. We all have different kinds of people we're trying to reach. We all have different things we're passionate about. We all, have different knowledge. Like different people have backgrounds in different things. And that's what makes it really cool and really beautiful. And so to me, that's the exciting thing about Beachbody is that, yes, they give us this platform to grow a business, but we get to do it how we want to do it. And we're small business owners and we get to decide what it looks like and what our marketing looks like. And we don't have to just do everything the way that they tell us. And so to me, that's a super exciting thing. And so when we talk about finding your big idea, that's really what it's about. It's about being successful with your tribe, with your people, with the things that you're passionate about. And we'll obviously dive into this a little bit more. Let me say this too. I think that there's a lot of people who, they say, okay, I'm going to go all in, or they get scared of the idea of going all in. And I just want to say this today, that going all in this business doesn't mean that you're giving up your life. Okay. So going all in doesn't mean that every night you're staying up till 11 p.m. and you're working this business and, you're up at 6 and you're making, like it's not this thing of like, hey, I'm giving up my whole life to go all in with Beachbody. And so I think sometimes people kind of have this misconstrued, like they think that going all in means that they're giving up everything. But don't be a one-toe in coach, because here's what I'm going to tell you right now. If you're one toe in right now, and you're just barely in it, you're kind of coaching, but you're like really focused on 90 million other things, like you're not going to see the success in this business that you want to see. And so going all in doesn't necessarily mean that you're wanting to be a full-time coach. It doesn't mean that you want to make a ton of money. It doesn't mean that you're, just throwing in the towel with everything else. Going all in just means you're going all in with your excitement, with your focus, not your time. And so what we're going to talk about today is going to require you to go all in. If you're going to build your business around your big idea, you're going to have to go all in. It's going to require hard work. It's going to require sitting down and really focusing. But if you want to see those results in your business and you want to be happy and you want to be passionate about what you're doing, then it's going to require that you do go all in. So what does it mean to have a big idea? Some of you might be like, okay, well, I don't even know what she's talking about. Okay, so here's the deal. A big idea is your big idea. So it's what's going to bring joy to this business, okay? Because everybody has a different way of doing it. Everyone has their own niche. Everyone has, the thing that gets them really excited. And if you try to look like other coaches, you're going to be unhappy because you're going to constantly be trying to live up to what they are as a coach. And in reality, if you just live out what you're called to be as a coach, what you're passionate about, you're going to be way happier because you're doing what you love. And you have that knowledge and you already have what it takes to do that and make that happen. So sure, we all love Beachbody. Like we all, are passionate about the program. We've used them. We think that they're super like amazing products, right? But like that can't be your big idea. Your big idea is whatever is going to make your business and you different. And that really has to be your focus. It's really honestly super simple. Like having a big idea is nothing that's super complicated, but it's the thing that will define your business. And it's the thing that will help you have clarity in the business. It's the thing that will help you focus when you sit down and work on things in your business, your big idea. So here's the deal. How do you figure out your big idea? First, you got to figure out what's your opportunity. What makes you you? I tell every new coach whenever they become a coach to sit down and draw a picture of their ideal customer. And I want you guys to all do that this week, today. Draw a picture of your ideal customer. Write out words around them of what makes that ideal customer the ideal customer. For me, I have non-negotiables of things that are my ideal customer. I've sat down and I've drawn it out. And here's the thing. Every time I make a post on Instagram, I'm talking to that ideal customer, right? Like, because that's the person I want to attract. Like, I love working with older women, but that's not my ideal customer, right? Like my ideal customer is honestly someone who's in a really similar stage of life as me. My ideal customer is someone who, is willing to put in the work, who's willing to show up, who's willing to be persistent, to maybe they, want to continue to work on themselves professionally as well. Like my ideal customer is someone that looks a lot like me, yes, because that's where I'm at in my stage of life, but also someone who maybe is a newlywed, someone who hasn't necessarily gotten married yet or had kids. Like on my ideal customer list, it's not always just someone who is a mom necessarily, but it's someone who is in that phase of life. Like they're married, they're pursuing their career, or they just had a baby and they're getting to stay at home. It's kind of this small little window of time that we all have. And honestly, my ideal customer is not even really someone who has a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old. My ideal customer is someone who is like a super new mom like myself. And so even though a lot of us on the team have very similar focuses and passions in our business, we all are building a business for the most part centered around like sharing Christ, right? Like we want to connect faith and fitness. And that's probably my biggest idea, right? When you look at my business, the things that make my business me are, the fact that I connect faith and fitness. And that makes me extremely different than a lot of other coaches in the network. Yes, in our tribe, in our little bitty bubble of all the coaches within the network, a lot of us have that same passion. But even within that, we all have different things that make us us. And so, I want to work with young Christian moms or young Christian women who want to get healthy while keeping Jesus at the center of their lives. And so in that, I create things. I create, opportunities and create resources and create blog posts and create devotionals, things that are going to speak to that target person. Every single thing I do in my business is built around that opportunity. And so you have to sit down and you have to figure out what is your opportunity, what makes you you. And then you got to build your business around that. You've got to build your business around that specific opportunity. So, they used the example on the call of, women who, there's a coach who she literally does challenge groups just for teachers because She used to be a teacher. She's not a teacher anymore, but she used to be a teacher. And she is so passionate about helping teachers because she knows they have crazy schedules during the school year and they're at the school a lot, and how can they put their work on and how can they meal prep and eat healthy. And what's really cool is that then she's able to share the coaching opportunity with them, right? Because she is someone who used to be a teacher, who came out of teaching. And so it's like, hey, here's a cool opportunity if that's something you want to pursue. Or maybe you love teaching, but here's something that can help your family make some extra money. Those sorts of things. And so it's really cool because when we put that big idea into practice, you're going to have more focused challenge groups. You can create challenge groups specifically around your big idea. So for this teacher, former teacher, she created challenge groups around the big idea of helping busy teachers get fit and healthy. So maybe for you, it's helping, former women in the workforce get fit and healthy. They've quit their jobs to be stay-at-home moms, and they feel like they're losing themselves, and they want to continue to stay on edge. They want to continue to, pursue professional development and grow, and they don't want to just give up on all these hopes and dreams that they have. So how are you going to help them? Maybe you create a challenge group specific that is like, hey, yeah, we're going to be reading this book by John Acuff called Just Start. And, maybe it's specifically for some entrepreneurs. There is so many big things that you can do, even within the Christian community of like, hey, if you're wanting to do something specifically within faith, there's so many different directions and things that you could do within that. And different things that you can bring to the table. And so you've really got to sit down and you've got to look at what are your passions. What are you really, really passionate about when it comes to helping other people? Maybe you're not necessarily someone who, struggles with eating healthy or meal prepping because that's something that is just super easy for you, but you have identified that that's really, really hard for most people. And so what if you built a challenge group specifically around meal prepping? And yes, they're working out and doing Shakeology, but so much of it is you create an ebook on, how to meal prep, and you create videos and you create tons and tons of resources that make you very different. And so think about it. Think about women who have left the workplace, homeschooling moms, nurses. Those are things that make them really specific. Homeschooling moms are super busy. Like I work with a homeschooling mom in my challenge group, and I know she would love to get to know other homeschooling moms because she feels alone. Like they don't have a group that they go to. And so right now she feels super alone, and she's, homeschooling a kindergartner and a first grader. And it's kind of one of those things that's like, how am I ever going to do anything for myself because I'm constantly there with them trying to help them do their schoolwork. And so how can you, as someone who knows that, who's done it, who's been there, I'm using you, Elizabeth, as an example, but that's something that she can do. Nurses, that is a crazy schedule job. Like the fact that Bree comes over to my house at 7:30 after working a night shift and working out with me is kind of crazy. But here's the deal. She's figured out what works for her, and she can help other nurses do the same thing. And so you've got to figure out what your big idea is and what the thing that you're going to really be focused on is. And, you may have maybe you have one or two different things, but maybe you just really, for a season, you focus in on that one thing. This is going to help you have a stronger funnel for recruiting coaches. So I talked about it a second ago, but, for that teacher, or maybe it is that nurse who's like, hey, nurses are way underpaid. Like they really are. If you didn't know that, they are. And, maybe they need to make some extra money, going into the new year. And this is an opportunity that you have that you can share with them. My plan is to, when I could leave my full-time job, I would love to do a challenge group for women in the workforce who want to get out of that full-time position, and how can they, get healthy. And then from there, it could turn into me sharing the business opportunity. And so this is just a really great opportunity for you to have a really strong funnel for recruiting coaches who are like you, that share the same passions. If you look at our team, the people on my team, a lot of them have very similar passions. Like I meet them in person and I'm like, we are the same person. But even just being super strong and wanting to pursue what God has for our lives and wanting to pursue fitness His way. I mean, everyone I have signed up has had that same vision and same passion, because I have been super clear with my messaging on my Instagram and on my blog and on my Facebook. I don't put anything out there that is not specific to who I am, right? Like I'm talking to my tribe. And so you've got to get really focused, because that's going to help you pursue and find the people that you want to work with. And honestly, it's just going to make you happier. Like if you try to be a Beachbody robot, if you try to every time a new program comes out, make it work and talk about it all the time, but you're not even really on board for it, like you're not going to be as happy. But if you will just get focused on your why and your big idea, this is going to make you so much happier, and it's going to make it more fun because you're working with people that you really, really love and you're really passionate about helping them, because where they are in life is where you were or what you can identify with. And so you're just going to be happier because you're doing something that just fills you up. And it's something that's not going to take you as much work. People always laugh because they're like, Caroline, you sit down and you write Instagram posts so fast. And they're like novels. And I'm like, yeah, because like, number one, obviously I've been doing this for a little bit, but at this point too, like what I'm talking about is stuff from my heart. It's stuff that I'm passionate about, stuff that, I'm learning and I'm growing in. And so if you're not doing personal development and you're not working out every day and being a product of the product and you're not investing in people, like you're not going to have anything to share. But if you are, you will, I promise, because you're going to have things that you're learning. And when you say it, it's going to be speaking specifically to those people, because that's who you're trying to talk to. You're not trying to talk to the masses. You're trying to talk to that one person. The thing about it is I think sometimes we think that being a successful coach is this big, scary thing. But honestly, it's really about just helping a few people every single month and helping a few people become coaches every month, helping them start their businesses. And so don't overcomplicate it. Just focus on your why. All right. So we're going to take 5 minutes right now. So I want everyone to get out a piece of paper, a pen, and I want you to write down what you believe your big idea is, okay? So what is your big idea? All right, I'm going to give you all 5 minutes. And if you have questions while you're doing it, you can always chat in the chat box or unmute yourself. All right. So I don't know if that was quite 5 minutes, but all right, so here's what I want you guys to do next. So today, I want you to, now that you've got kind of on paper what your big idea is, what you know is where you need to be heading with this business, I want you to take a second today, and I want you to really just sit down and evaluate, like, your freemium, your Instagram, your blog if you have one, your website, whatever, like all the things that you've been doing in your business. Do those posts and what you're doing speak specifically to your big idea? Like, does that correlate in together? Obviously, every post, like, you may have a post that doesn't say specific moms or whatever, but like the person you're wanting to work with, the big idea that you have, do those things line up? Do they play into each other? So take some time today and just really evaluate that. And I would love for you all just to reach out to your upline with kind of just let them know, like, hey, you know, Caroline, or hey, Patrice, or hey, whoever, you know, this is my big idea and this is the direction I want to take my business. And let me say this to you too. If you are a coach on this team and you have a downline, if you have a coach under you, like, make sure that you are helping them figure this out for themselves as well. Like, your job as their coach is to help them make these things happen in their business as well. What is their big idea? What is the thing that they're really passionate about? My biggest fear is always just, you know, that a coach signs up and feels lost and doesn't know what they should be doing. And so make sure that you're on board and that you feel really confident in helping them discover those things for themselves. Cool. All right, so any questions? Take questions real quick. Thoughts? Did anybody listen to the national wake-up call that she talked about this? Cool. If you didn't, go back and listen to it, because she's been in the business for 10 years, so I feel like she had some really good stuff to say about it. But yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey, Jennifer.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I thought it was a guy for the national wake-up call. There's two guys. What girl?
Oh, this was last week, I said. Last Monday.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Past Monday, sorry, but the week before that.
Yeah, that was a really good one too. But this last Monday, he said something about going back and talking to all your customers. And well, I'm going to re-listen to it. I just wanted to hear if you heard what he said. Like, he said, you know, don't just message your customers, but send them a voice call, which we have talked about before too. Yeah. Like, hey, if you're ready to join me in the new year, like, send me a reply. And then the people that reply, now you can invest in them instead of sending all these like messages to millions of people and half of them don't even reply.
Yeah, exactly. And I found that voice messages are just more like authentic and people just like really like them better. So
I did those totally off topic, I guess. I did those voice calls yesterday for my challenge group, and it just felt so much better to me. Like more, I don't know, it just felt better than having to literally type all this stuff out.
I totally agree. It just feels it feels more like, hey, I just wanted to check in on you and see how you're doing, like, instead of being like some salesy feeling typing.
It's like more personal too, because you're sending it specifically to them, but it's easier for us. It's not, I mean, okay, I guess you could say it's easier to copy and paste, but it's not personal. Like, you're not thinking of them exactly when you're writing it.
Exactly. Totally.
Okay, so I've been trying to like narrow down like my avatar, as people call it, you know, my ideal customer, and I've got like several different routes I can go, and I've kind of dabbled into a little bit of each of them. Yeah, kind of hoping to see, you know, some reaction, and I can't figure out which one, like, I don't know, people react to more. Does that make sense? And I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to pick one.
Yeah, no, I get it. I think like,
Mommy, you want to do? Okay, go ahead. Let me zip your.
Okay, sorry, I had to mute somebody.
Okay.
So I think for you, like, that is the thing, is that you specifically do have several different ways and directions that you could go. So I think that, like, you just got to figure out which one are you the most passionate about talking about. Like, which one do you feel more knowledgeable about, or which one are you like, these are the people I really want to work with, right? Like, and the thing is like, so one of the examples that he used on the National Wake Up Call was Take Back the Kitchen, which was basically a mom who realized that there was a lot of moms out there who were also having trouble, like, planning meals and getting their kids to eat vegetables and all these things. And so she hired a registered dietitian and did something really similar to what we did with Healthy Holidays. She had them create menus, and people became a part of the community by just buying Shakeology or Daily Sunshine. They didn't have to have the workouts, but this took off for her, like took off. And all it was a big idea that she had about, hey, I'm really passionate about helping other moms. And, you know, that was it. That was something she saw as a big idea. So it doesn't have to be something that's like super, like necessarily even something that's like hers could be for any mom, you know what I mean? But for you, I think it's just figuring out like, what is your big idea? What is the thing you're passionate about? And then finding that thing within it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So true.
So I think that, and I mean, honestly, something to be praying about, just like, hey, Lord, like, what direction do you want me to go with this? You know, like he wants us to dream with him, and he wants us to, you know, trust him with it. And so I think like giving that over to him and saying, this is your business, not mine. What direction should this be going? You know, and what is the platform that, you know, I literally, people are always like, how did you think up Fit for His Glory? And I'm like, literally all I did was just pray about it for like 3 weeks. Like, what is this supposed to be called? Like, what is this brand supposed to be? So, you know, he'll get it to you.
Awesome. Great advice.
Anybody else? Thoughts, takeaways?
I also think it's important as we're figuring it out, not to get distracted by what other coaches are doing. Like, look to maybe a couple coaches for inspiration. But what I've found in the past is that if my news feed, my timeline, my Instagram, whatever, is clogged with other coaches, even if it's coaches on this team, like, doesn't matter. If it's a ton of coaches, then that's all I'm seeing. So what do you do when you see a bunch of other people that are doing similar things to you? You compare yourself to them. Yeah. And most likely, you probably come out not on top. You know, you're seeing what they're doing better as they're operating in their strengths. Like, they've figured out what's working for them. But if you're looking at what's working for 50 different coaches and you're sitting here basically paralyzed by overwhelm, then that's not doing any good. So I would suggest, if you're anything like me, I play the comparison game all the time and it frustrates me. So I've had to like stop following a lot of other coaches. Maybe pick a couple coaches that you're like, okay, I'm really inspired by this coach right now. I want to kind of see, because it's similar to what I want to do, and maybe take some ideas from them, you know, in a way that you make it your own. But if you're constantly only seeing other, and also for business wise, like other coaches, it's great for inspiration, but it's not helping you in your business directly. You want people who are your potential customers flooding your timeline, so you can comment on their stuff and like their stuff, so your engagement with them is continuing to go.